I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly.
Dog walking.
Buzzsaw.
I just cut the intro off early. Didn't mean to. Testing. Yep. Volume's good. I don't know where Toast is at. Texas is Oklahoma has all the momentum in this game right now. What's going on, guys? Yo, here, you guys can put your picks in here. 1 second. Well, actually, first let me get Toast in the stream. Hit that. Big bucket, Texas. One sec.
I fucking hate Rodney Terry so much.
All right, I'm putting in Take It to OT's in here. I just sent him the link. Helms is in there. I'll send him the link. So the link I'm sending you guys is so you can input your picks for the game we're talking about right there. You'll see the tabs at the bottom. It's hard to explain, but you'll know. Where's Helms in the thing? There. I'm going to DM this to Vanden Bosch real quick, too, so he can... This way, when I go to the next game, it'll show who you guys are on, so I can read it off to everyone. We're trying it out.
College basketball.
What a rush.
Oh my God.
Someone go input. I just sent it to a few people. Helms, take it to OT. Vanden Bosch. Someone want to go input picks for the Memphis game and make sure it's working. Like this. I'll type in like a sample. So you guys could go in there and type in this. Anonymous. There you go, Wags. Go ahead. All right, Wags is in there. So it's working. So that's so you guys can go in and put your picks up so I can read them off rather than having to scroll through the comments. Everyone can see. For the people that are always here. All right. So anyway, we're sweating this Texas bet. 6 minutes remaining. Also sweating this Lakers Heat under on the other screen, which is still in play. It looks so dead in the first quarter, but it's still in play. Just need a grinded out last few minutes. As a whole tonight, I have a win. If I get these two, I have a winning night. If I get Texas and Lakers Heat under. If either one loses, I have a losing night. That's where I'm sitting right now.
I'm pretty much like essentially in the same type of boat, honestly. I'm like, yeah.
I need both of these. There you go. So, and also you guys can go. It's crazy that everyone's doing it at the same time right now because I happen to send it to you. But you guys can go and fill it in for all the tabs at the bottom if you can't say for the whole stream and stuff.
Yeah, so we can talk shit about you when you're gone.
We talk about how much your picks sucked.
Yeah.
All right, so we got games going on, but we could start going through it. I got 7 games queued up here. First one being Memphis Temple. We don't talk. Is this AAC in football as well? Same conference, American?
Yes.
Basketball as well? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Really, really impressed with what Penny's done. I mean, especially, most college basketball fans tend to think that he's a terrible coach, but he has them rolling this year. Do I want to lay 8.5 on the road with them right now where they really haven't been tested in a true road game this year. I mean, the Clemson game was pretty good. They came back in OT and won that game, but the other game, Virginia, the other game, Florida Atlantic, and I think that Florida Atlantic is one of the most overrated teams in the country. So they haven't really been tested on the road. I'm not trying to make a case that I think that Temple is going to be the one that tests them, but it is a conference game. And again, I don't think that Temple's been Temple hasn't been terrible at home. They really haven't faced nearly anybody like Memphis, but I mean, they do match up size-wise. Temple's a lot bigger than Memphis, so they might be able to control some of the rebounds. And if Memphis is just somewhat cold that night, because Memphis is one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country, but on the road against a team that's much bigger than you, maybe they struggle a little bit. So I would lean over more than anything. Both these teams kind of play at like the same type of tempo. They don't mind getting up and down the floor. And if Memphis is doing their thing, they're definitely going to be getting up and down the floor. So I'd lean over 154 or 154 and a half or whatever it is. But I think that Memphis wins the game. I mean, there's no reason for me to think that Temple does unless they just completely slow this game down somehow. But I don't want to lay 9+ points on the road with this team right now.
Well, Wags and Van der Bosch both put Temple plus 8.5 on the sheet.
Yeah, that's the only way I would go as well. Yeah, I mean, I think the overs for me, I would pick the over, but yeah, there's just no way I would lay 8.5. I gotta see it on the road from Memphis. That's all. Like, it's not to take away anything that they've done so far this year, but they really haven't been tested in true road games. So, and those neutral court tournament games against like UConn, Michigan State, and Auburn, I mean, those are kind of coin flips when you're out there in Hawaii. So.
All right, so
in my head,
I'm ending the poll. Will Texas choke this game away? 64% of you said yes. 34% of you said
they can lose, just don't lose by 2 or by 3.
Plus 2.5. I took the plus 2.5 also.
Same here, yeah.
Let's move on to the second game, which is
college basketball is way too crazy to not take the points.
Michigan, Minnesota.
Dude,
we're in the Big Ten, so let's see. Minnesota. 3-12-2 against the spread. Did I type that correctly?
No. Yes. I don't know that number off the top of my head, but I know that they.
So the Gophers have just been. Now hold on. Let's test. So if I switch tabs, it should automatically go to the next game. There we go. And take it, to, Kyle, or take it to OTs in there. Michigan -10. He took.
Yeah. I think this number probably climbs a little bit too. Again, I'm not betting Michigan. Again, same type of thing like Memphis. Not to take anything away from them. They've played a very, very good schedule. They went out to the West Coast and whooped USC's ass, and they whipped UCLA's ass. I don't consider those teams very good. Minnesota's terrible, way worse than both those teams. But again, it's just trusting these teams in a Big Ten game where you have a Michigan team that's very, very good, but they like to play very, very fast. And Minnesota is one of the slowest teams in the country. So if Minnesota, I'm not saying that Minnesota is going to score a lot, but if they can slow this game down, and Michigan has just a little bit of an off night shooting, maybe, just maybe, they stay in this game. Again, I'm not betting Minnesota, but I really want to, just because it is a conference game, and I just think that Michigan hasn't really laid an egg yet, and I think that's going to come sooner or later. They're 5-0 in Big Ten play so far, but it would just make in my head, it would just make sense for them to lay an egg rather here or their next game versus Northwestern. But the fact that Minnesota can slow this game down, and if Michigan, a team that turns the ball over constantly, just has like a little bit of an off night, then maybe this game kind of turns into like a crawl situation and Minnesota stays in it. But yeah.
PJ Fleck is tough at home. So Tevin Gamble says Minnesota under. By the way, Wags also, he got Michigan -9.5 at open. So he got in on Michigan early. Where's Juice at? Gophers at home. Juice is with you, bro.
I can't argue against any Michigan bet. Minnesota is just absolutely.
Hold on, you're on Minnesota. Juice is on Minnesota. I'll hoist the colors.
If they were just, I'd be a little bit more confident in this if they weren't one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the country. Like, I don't know if there's maybe 10 other teams that are worse than Minnesota at the free throw line, it just sucks, because if they were just mediocre, that would make this bet a lot more easier to swallow. But
so Van der Bosch has got a prop in this game. Van der Bosch is dipping his toes into the prop market. He's got Danny Wolf assists. Minnesota allows almost 15 a game at home, and Minnesota has no size to compete with Vlad inside. Michigan running that inverted pick and roll versus Wolf, and Vlad should feed Vlad all night. So Danny Wolf assists.
How many?
Yeah, what's that number at, Panda Bosch? He figured it out. There you go. Yeah, and those tabs are there, so you guys can fill out the whole thing. Like whatever. Any NFL videos coming? Yeah, tomorrow. I'll put the Saturday games out. All right, let's go on to game number 3.
Trevor, there's tabs at the bottom of the sheet that you'll see.
He figured it out. He figured it out.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And for the people that watch every night, I'll get the link to others. I just sent it to these 3 as a test because I know they were in the chat. Maryland, I just wanted to make sure it was working. The idea is, so instead of me scrolling through to find like the people who I know that everyone else wants to hear, like I gotta get to the juice as well. I don't even know if I follow Juice. I don't even know what his Twitter is. I don't. Is he? Are you the Juice on Twitter? All right. Maryland, Northwestern sticking in the Big Ten.
First of all, I want to address a comment. My deferral shirt doesn't mean I'm a Dodgers fan. My deferral shirt just means I like baseball shirts. I have a lot of shirts from a lot of different teams. I just think that's a fantastic shirt.
Yeah, you were catching shit for that shirt early today too.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Someone was making comments saying you're bailing on the Padres or something. All right, so Maryland, Northwestern, just looking at some recent numbers here.
I'm just going to go out and say it. I did it, guys. I did it again.
Northwestern?
Yeah.
They played the much stronger schedule, significantly stronger schedule. The numbers don't look too bad. I mean, I was thinking, just glancing at some numbers. Oh, God.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, God, what? What are you looking at?
The defensive rebounding in the last 5 games.
Yeah.
But in the last 10 games, it's good.
Well, I was going to say the last 5 games, Northwestern's played Michigan State, Purdue, Penn State, DePaul, and Northeastern. I mean, those first 3 is, I mean, yeah. So for me, you're getting Northwestern at home, which obviously I like them much better at home. Not to mention the fact that Chris Collins just seemed to have that crowd, can get that crowd going, which is one thing that I like. The other thing is I just feel like Northwestern is going to make this game an absolute crawl. And I know that Maryland has looked really, really good, but they've looked really, really good at home all year. They lost to Washington, they lost to Oregon. And I'm not trying, first of all, I want to say I would have called those good losses. I mean, no loss is a good loss, but when you're traveling across the country like that, again, it's not an easy, especially for a college program. So I don't really knock those as like full losses in my head, if that makes sense. But on the road at Purdue, you're not going to win that game either. But again, I just feel like they have to prove it to me on the road here. I think that this line is under 2 for a reason. I think Northwestern is going to try to slow this game down to an absolute crawl. And if they're able to do that, that's going to put a lot of pressure on this Maryland offense. And again, not that I don't want to say that this Northwestern team is some fantastic defense and Maryland hasn't seen fantastic defense, but Northwestern is like a top 30, near top 25 defense. And the only other team that they saw that Maryland has seen anywhere close to that number within like 25, 30 slots is UCLA. And I think that everybody watching this show could agree that regardless of what UCLA's numbers are, that team is dead on arrival in most of these games now, especially after what we've seen the last 3 or 4 games. So they were really, really hot 2 months ago, but they're like one of the worst teams in college basketball right now. I mean, I don't even know if you can even consider betting that team anymore. But my point being is that I do feel like I just feel like this is like not really a big spot for this Northwestern team. I think that they can handle Maryland. I mean, they should be able to handle Maryland with their size. I don't think that I don't think that Northwestern, being one of the bigger teams in the country, is going to come in. Sorry. I can't get this out of my mouth. But that Brooks Braunheiser kid, that Martinelli kid, both those guys should be able to play inside. So again, not trying to take anything away from what Julian Reese and Derek Queen are doing, but I do think that Northwestern has the hogs to match up with them. And being at home and Maryland on the road, I'll take my chances here with the short number at home.
Good news. Van den Bosch is with you on Northwestern. Says he doesn't trust Maryland on the road. Northwestern off a bad loss at home. 3 back-to-back losses, and students should be back. So Van den Bosch is with you. Bad news would be OT and Wags are not with you. They're both on Maryland. It looks like Tinker's with you, though. Tinker says he likes Northwestern at home. He also likes the under at 141.5, which is kind of what you said. You said you like...
Yeah, I think it's going to be a slow game. I think that Barnheiser and Martinelli or whatever is a very, very good matchup for Queen and Reese. And if you can match up with those two, you have a chance to win the game. So if a guy like Gillespie or Rodney Rice beats me, so be it. But like I said, you can have my money, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm not going to bet the Minnesota one, but I might bet this one with you. I'm not going to do the Minnesota. It just seems like they're just too bad to even realistically.
Yeah, I just trust me. It would be so gross. And they would probably, most likely what's going to happen is they're going to be covering for probably 85% of that game, and then they'll just blow it.
Did you see how I got my Sixers covered tonight?
No.
Well, it went to overtime, and I'm on +7, so I'm pissed already. The Knicks... the Knicks...
I know that feeling.
The Knicks start overtime on a 13-2 run. Take an 11-point lead. I'm fucking sick. Then the Sixers battle back a little bit. They hit a 3 to make it 6, and the Knicks have the ball with 30 seconds left, and they dribble the shot clock out. Instead of there was enough time where teams will run a play there. It wouldn't have been crazy for them to run a play.
Yeah.
It was marvelous. It was my favorite bet. My second favorite bet was that Heat under that just went over about 5 minutes ago though.
Foul. That's a fucking. All right, let's go. What's up next?
The Rut.
Oh my god, they're gonna make me do it.
No, just stop.
I'm not going to, but I really want to.
They're bad, dude.
I know. That's why I'm not gonna do it.
Everyone's the state of New Jersey's disappointed.
Trust me, I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. Side note, we should go to the Michigan State game while I'm there. Anyway.
I'm down to go. So real quick before you get started, we have Wags and Van den Bosch are fading each other tonight. This is 3. They're on the opposite side of every single game.
I know, and I can't even tell. I already know Van den Bosch is with me. He wants to play Rutgers, or has played Rutgers.
Van den Bosch is with Nebraska. Wags is on Rutgers.
Right, Wags, my guy.
Someone said, Kyle, any Australian Open bets? No, but I posted a video. I have some golf bets. I tailed the Cantlay one. If you watch that video, I tailed Cantlay, and I tailed that kid, the up-and-coming kid. His name's Graymeister or something. I tailed that one too, both top 20s. So you're really going to make me type Rutgers up here?
It would be Rutgers for me. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong on Nebraska, but I just don't think they're really good. And the last 2 games is not the reason that I feel that way. I just want to make that clear. I think that going on the road to Iowa, where they seem to score 100 at home all the time at this point now, that doesn't really faze me that much. And then going on the road to Purdue, that doesn't faze me much either. But I mean, they have a really good strength of schedule, but I mean, some of the teams that the other teams that they've played besides Michigan State's a good team, but Indiana's terrible, but they're ranked somewhat high. Creighton's not that good at all. They're ranked somewhat high. And besides that, it's teams like South Dakota, North Florida, Murray State, Hawaii, Oregon State's somewhat decent. We'll probably talk about them later. And then a UCLA team that's been dead in the water for a while now. So again, I'm just not impressed with what Nebraska's done. And so they are at home, and Rutgers has absolutely been terrible. There's no question about that. But they won the game that they were supposed to win against UCLA to truly show us that UCLA is dead on arrival. I mean, the Purdue game, Purdue's a really good basketball team. Wisconsin is a really good basketball team. The Indiana loss was bad, but they didn't have Dylan Harper in that game. If I'm not mistaken, I'm almost positive they didn't have Dylan Harper in that game. Yeah, they didn't have Dylan Harper in that game. So you don't have essentially your best scorer, and Ace Bailey's really good, but if you have to ask him just to do everything in the score, it's just not going to happen. But I just think that these teams are more even than 3 full possessions now. This number continues to go up. I think it's at 9.
In what world is that not a foul?
I have no idea. I can't even.
I'm looking at the
Oh my
replay
God.
now.
It would have been a foul if he had a white jersey on. I can promise you that.
It was it looked a lot worse in real time.
No, yeah, he flopped a little bit. But again, I just don't think that Nebraska. My personal opinion, I don't feel Nebraska is that good. I think that Rutgers is obviously, or I know that Rutgers is a lot bigger team than them as well. So I do think they match up well, and I think that if you can contain Bryce Williams, I think that you could. If Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary, I think can be contained by Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, or at least they can all battle it out. And if they're battling it out, which I think they probably are going to do. This is probably a 4 or 5 point game. Nebraska might win. I just don't feel like they're going to win by 10 plus, and that's what that number is getting to at this point.
I don't know about that one.
I'm not betting this game, but we're gonna find out if my suspicions of Nebraska is real or not. Because I agree, Rutgers is bad.
I feel like your suspicion hit that. It's a big shot right there. It's a big shot. Shooter's touch.
Ball no lie. Ball don't lie.
Ball no lie. Ball no lie. All right, next up is Gonzaga -9.
Yeah, this is absolute joke. Oregon State plus 9.5.
We're in Corvallis.
Yeah. What do I always say? It doesn't matter if it's football season or college basketball season. The last thing that you want to be doing is laying a whole bunch of points in Corvallis in the middle of the week. It's just not something that you want to be doing. The Beavers can get you. And dead honestly, Oregon State has played really, really good basketball up to this point. A couple weird losses, one weird loss to Loyola Marymount where they got absolutely throttled. But the Nebraska loss, I don't put much stock into. Santa Clara is a really good basketball team. They lost to them by 1. Losing to Oregon isn't really that bad. They only lost to Oregon by 3. Oregon State also only lost to North Texas by 3. North Texas is a pretty damn good basketball team. So I think that Oregon State's playing a lot better basketball than people give them credit for. They just played a Pacific team that's terrible. They were supposed to kill them. They killed them. They beat them by 40 points. They beat San Diego by 30 points or very close to that. They beat Portland by double digits as well. So they're more than capable of playing basketball. And if we're being dead honest, I've been saying this for a while. I think that Gonzaga is broken. Something is not right. I know that they've won their last few games, but all these games have been absolutely terrible. Washington State's not really a good basketball team. San Diego, Loyola Marymount, Portland, Pepperdine, all those teams, Nichols, Bucknell, all those teams are bad, really, really bad. And Oregon State's decent. Not to mention the fact that Oregon likes to play their opposite teams. Oregon likes to play super slow and play through their defense. As we know, Gonzaga likes to get up and down the court. And I think that Oregon State's going to be able to slow this game down. Gonzaga doesn't turn the ball over, but if there's not so many possessions, Gonzaga is used to pushing plus 70, 72 possessions at least in games, usually 75 plus. I think that Oregon State's going to be shooting for 65 possessions in this game. And if Gonzaga is able to shoot 35, 40% from deep, which they're not going to do, and then they're going to win that game. But I think that Oregon State's going to slow this game down. They match up with Gonzaga really well. And they also, I love my free throws. Oregon's top 10 in the country in free throw rate. So Gonzaga fouls a lot too. So there's a chance that Oregon gets a lot of free points at the line. There's no way you can lay it with Gonzaga. It's Oregon State plus 9.5 for sure.
I'm tailing. I'm in on this. OT says Beaver Country plus 9.5. Van Bosch, Beavers plus 9.5. Let's see what we got in the comments. Graben says Gonzaga by 1 million. The Zags?
I hope so, but no, it won't happen.
Sprinkle time in Corvallis. Juice is sprinkled in the money line.
I honestly, it's not that crazy because it's going to be a really, really big plus price. And if we are correct and Oregon State slows this game down and it's going to be like a back and forth battle, you're getting a little bit worse than a coin flip on probably plus 400 or better. it's probably not that crazy. I don't think they're going to lose. I don't think Gonzaga is going to lose, but we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised though.
OT says Oregon State's top 10 in steals per game. Zags are having turnover problems and shooting problems. Beavers best against the spread record in the nation at home. Best 3-point shooting team in the conference. Corvallis, baby. Once you made the sale, stop selling, brother. I'm in. Forecast card, Oregon State +9.
I mean, you could also make a case that this is, I mean, Gonzaga really hasn't been tested in true road games either. A lot of them are semi-away, semi-homes. They went to San Diego State. They won that game, but San Diego State has been meh this year. But only other away games for Gonzaga was Pepperdine. They won that game by 7, and Loyola Marymount, they killed them. But, I mean, it is what it is. But Oregon State's much better than Loyola Marymount for what it is. But, Gonzaga hasn't proven themselves on the road at all.
Hold on, though. Wags is saying Gonzaga travels 3-0 on the road. Or those are the games you just read off, though.
3-0 against the spread?
Oh, I don't know. He just said 3-0. He didn't say against the spread.
Yeah, I mean, they covered Loyola. There's no way they covered.
We're in great shape with the Longhorns, by the way.
I know, I'm watching. I got it.
It's up to 7. So it looks like Grabens might be the only one who's taking a position on Gonzaga. In the chat, it seems like everyone else is with us in Corvallis, but the poll is 64% Gonzaga. So the people that aren't speaking are voting for Gonzaga.
Vanden Bosch, I wanted to play Loyola as well. It's funny that you said that. I wasn't going to play their money line, but I was thinking about taking the points with Loyola too, catching. But I think that line is going to continue to grow. But yeah,
some people might be wondering why we have a Conference USA basketball game, because I saw Toast had a bet in it, so I loaded the graphics up. I don't think we've ever talked about Conference USA basketball on this show before.
That's very true. Yeah, I do have a bet in this game. I bet FIU earlier at +3.5. I think that New Mexico State looks really, really good. And FIU is pretty bad, don't get me wrong. But New Mexico State really hasn't been tested on the road in a long time. They played a couple road games really early in the season. And then they played a game against New Mexico. But they've played there a lot. New Mexico's, it's the pit, but it is what it is. But only over the last month, they've only played one road game, and that was against UTEP. And that was their last game. And now they got to come play this FIU team that they're bad. They're bad. I'm not trying to make a case that they're that good, but at the same time, they have played some decent teams like Sam Houston State, Louisiana Tech, Western Kentucky, Middle Tennessee. All those teams I think that are better than New Mexico State. Sam Houston State, maybe people can argue with me on that one. You'll probably win that argument, but I just don't think that New Mexico State is nearly as good as they've shown. And I think that FIU is one of those teams that we have another situation where they're opposites. New Mexico likes to slow this game down and play through their defense. FIU likes to get up and go, and I think that's going to be the factor, because FIU's defense, I think, is very comparable to New Mexico State's. I would actually say they're probably better, especially overall, but I think that they use their guys better. I mean, I've watched probably like 4 or 5 FIU games already. I've watched this team a lot. I don't know why. They just always seem to be on my TV. Maybe that's why I'm so confident in them and I bet them. But I just think that those defenses are comparable, and FIU is going to push the pace. They're 60th or 59th in average possession length in college basketball right now. So they're going to get up in easy buckets because New Mexico State's not used to playing teams like that. So I think that you're going to have a very live home dog in FIU tomorrow. Especially, I think they're going to win the pace battle. And I don't think that the rebounding battle is as significant as it looks at sometimes. New Mexico State has gaudy offensive rebounding numbers, but at the same time, FIU is just as big as them. I just don't feel like that's going to continue to last. So we'll see what happens. But I think that this line was 3.5 and small for a reason, and it continues to go down a little bit. I don't know what it's at exactly right now, but yeah, FIU +3.5 for sure. I think it's still
plus 3.5.
Yeah.
Oh, I made the graphics wrong. My bad, guys. Let me so it's FIU +3.5. I can honestly say I will not be tailing this one. And we have another game, another Wags Vanden Bosch showdown. I'm beginning to think they're just fading each other at this point. Texas,
yeah.
Texas just won, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
So Wags is on New Mexico State, Vanden Bosch on FIU. I'll scroll up to see if any of them sent Van Bosch says, I bet FIU already at home. They're so much better. New Mexico State on a big winning streak and now heading to FIU where that fucked up ocean court will mess with them. Is that a thing? What, because they're by the water?
I mean, I don't know if it's a thing that messes with teams, but it's definitely a fucked up court.
What is it with college basketball and these like voodoo shit, like island rims?
Yeah.
Like...
You hate that stuff too. I love it.
Looks like Grabens is on FIU with you.
I think it's a really good spot. I do think that New Mexico State's just a little bit overvalued in the marketplace. It's just kind of a personal opinion, but yeah.
Someone said, Toast, did you really bet against Michigan again?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Juice, the game is officially over. Didn't you say you were going to apologize to the group for taking Oklahoma? I believe you said something along those lines. No, I believe his words were, I'll be there to own up to it or something.
Respectable.
Oh, he actually typed that? He actually sent that before he even heard me say it. So, and Wag says he's very comfortable on his New Mexico State island. All right. All I have to say is,
I love being on an island myself.
Me too.
Wags. I know that feeling.
Washington
Although
State, San
the sample
Diego.
size here is a very small one.
We're talking Cougs ball.
We are talking a little bit of Cougs ball here. I need to go check my notes for Washington State. I played the over in this game. Over 152.5. I think that I know that the San Diego offense is really, really bad, but I think there's going to be a whole bunch of possessions in this game. I think you're going to get like 75 plus possessions in this game for both these teams combined. And if that's the case, I mean, they don't even have to be hot to push over this number. And I think it's high for a reason. I think that Washington State should be able to put up some numbers as well. They should absolutely dominate inside. And they're also a pretty decent 3-point shooting team. But another reason that I might wanted to point out that the San Diego offense is terrible, but they also on defense, they also produce a lot of turnovers, and that's one thing that Washington State is absolutely terrible with. They turn the ball over a ton, and that's the same thing with the San Diego offense. Both of these offenses turn it over a ton. So I just think it's going to be an up and down, back and forth game with two teams that like to play fast, two teams that turn the ball over a lot. Both of them shoot over 70% from the free throw line. It's nothing special, but it's not god awful like some of these other teams are. Neither one of them have a really big advantage as far as rebounds. I mean, matter of fact, San Diego doesn't rebound at all. So I just think that this is a recipe for points. I think they're just going to be going up and down the court and scoring.
Wesker says, got to throw an NBA game in here. Actually, we decided that I'm uploading NBA handicapping videos. So there's actually one done. It'll be up in about 20 minutes. Because I noticed that the crowd in the midnight, they're mostly here to talk college basketball. So rather than the forced NBA in here, when majority of the people listening are looking for college basketball, I'll do the NBA uploads. Like I have in the past. So I might be down to tail Wags on this one, by the way. Van Bosch is on Wazoo. Seems like everyone in the comments is on Wazoo. Wags is on his own San Diego island. Home dog catch at plus 12.5. There's a lot of red on the right side of this graphic, though. Holy shit.
There's a lot of red, but there's going to be a lot of possessions too. Like I do feel like San Diego should be able to put up some points here tonight. Yeah.
All right, I'll do it. All right, Wags, I'm tailing. San Diego State. What's the first one I was going to bet? Not San Diego State. I was tailing you on one. I can't remember what it was now.
I don't even remember now.
I didn't bet it. I should have. I'll just scroll back in the stream after find it. So I found two college basketball bets I like. I went 2-0, and I actually went 4-3 tonight. I completely forgot about the Sensaball bet. So I didn't have. Yeah. I did have a winning night. Yeah, Sensaball. So yeah, Wags, I'm with you on this. I'll tail that San Diego. I don't know shit about San Diego, but I like how everyone's betting Cougs as a 12.5-point road favorite. I'll jump on a home dog island. I'm always down. Mike,
Cougs are interesting.
Someone says I like Zalatoris and Cantlay. That's my guys. My golf guy likes those two as well. He might be saying that because he watched the video. All right, yeah, that's it. I just have the 7 games. It's not exactly a loaded college basketball night. So tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time, we'll go through. Oh no, wait. Yeah. 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's Thursday. I think I might put the first NFL video out tomorrow night. If not, it'll be Friday morning, but it'll be coming for the Saturday games. And yeah, so if you're somebody that's in here regularly and you want to be able to have your picks displayed on the screen, just reach out to me in the Discord. Like, yeah, it's obviously if you're like brand new to the show, I'm not going to put you in there. But for those of you, like, you know who you are. Those of you that are in here every night and want their name displayed up there, because like people like Wags and Vanderbosch, I'm scrolling through the comments looking for their picks every single time, so it's easier to just have it on the screen. Not to mention there are people in here looking for their picks as well. So I figured this is a good way where like the core people, the names that people are looking for, can just have access to the screen too. I think it's a good idea. We'll see how it works out.
I agree. And also, if you're new to the stream or don't know and want to share your picks, just show up a couple nights in a row so we get to know your name, and then we'll send you a link. I mean, it's nothing too crazy, right?
Oh, forecast. Did Jalen go over? No, I didn't tail it, but that's right. We put that on the screen. Did Jalen go over? Does anyone know?
Also, while you're checking that, I know Wags is on UT Arlington tomorrow as like a 1.5, 2-point home dog. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I have a full unit on them as well. So, and I know that Wags is on them as well.
Damn right, he did. 34 points. Way over. Good bet, forecast.
How many did Sensagoat finish with?
I don't know. I turned it off when he hit 18. I know it was 18 or more. I can guarantee it was 18 or more.
Touche.
You know what's crazy? This is how bad it is. Like, he hit 18, and it was like a tie game with 4 minutes or like 5 minutes left, and I turned it off. I'm good. I'm good here. I don't care. I don't care who wins the Jazz game. Sensabaugh got his 18th. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow. Hit me up in the Discord if you